Messi away from 2, 3, 4. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
The Football Drop Podcast.
Hello! Welcome to the Football Drop Podcast.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm good, mate. I'm alright. It's better than doing this at 6:30, isn't it?
Joe, I was just about to say that. It's a little bit later, we're a little bit more awake. You've clearly had a coffee, I can tell.
Two.
Oh, two.
Buzzing.
Is that why you were late?
Oh, mate. So, I was waiting in that fucking lobby for about 20 minutes before you let me in.
Maybe 20 seconds at most. I was finishing my text to you, whinging and moaning.
I was approximately 9 minutes late to the call due to IT errors, which I have successfully resolved, and I'm here, and we are ready to bounce. How are you, my G?
Yeah, I'm okay, mate. I'm okay. I was back in the office yesterday, and I was absolutely wired last night. I had such a good day.
Yeah?
Genuinely such a good day. It was so nice to be back. So in the office in the morning, our new restaurant in the afternoon, absolutely buzzing my nuts off. It was so nice.
Oh, nice.
See some of the team, see some of the guys, some of the managers, see our exec chef. Yeah, it was just, genuinely a really nice day.
Oh, good. I'm pleased, man.
I was
I'm
on
pleased.
the train at
We had a cracking weekend,
5 to 6,
didn't we?
mate.
Let's get into it, mate.
Come on, let's go. No, fuck it, let's go.
Sorry, mate. We're on team, so we're going to cut each other up for the whole episode.
Yeah, that's what we do best.
I think should we? Do you think anyone cares that it's Wednesday morning and we're recording it on a Wednesday morning, so it's going to be released like as soon as we finish? We're going to hit release.
No, I think they'll be alright. They'll be alright.
Yeah, well,
We've
they
got
know,
probably the most understanding listeners, I think, of any podcast, because they know for a fact that we are disorganised. They know for a fact that we put things late. Like the Vertigo episode a few weeks back. I mean, that was, kind of beyond our control, but they still listened. So, listeners, thank you. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Yes, so Crouchfest.
Yes.
We went to
Crouchfest 3. Look at that, Jinx.
Yeah.
How good was it, man?
Mate, honestly, I'll be honest, right? I've not been enjoying their podcast as much, probably because ours is so good. So I've not really been enjoying their podcast as much recently. I'll be completely truthful there. And I wasn't really looking forward to it. I was a bit like, it'd be nice to spend some time with the lads, like, that'd be good, but I don't know if I'm really feeling it. It was really good.
Yeah, it was.
The whole day was good.
I kind of get your thoughts there. Like, it has been, like, the podcast itself, I think, is still quite good, but they seem to be pushing all their sponsors at every breath, basically, now. Now, I get it, they're making money, great, good on them, and, they're still having a laugh, but they've got to do that commercial side, so I get it. But it's like every other word is fucking Brewdog now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, oh, come on, just stop it. Just get back to, like, the good laughs, having the good content, and just enjoying themselves properly. But the good thing is, I've had a lot more guests on this season.
Mm-hmm.
It is great listening to their stories.
Yeah, that's true. Fast forward 2 years and we are every other word is Brewdog or something like that. But
Pretty dog, pretty much. See, I'm already halfway there. Pretty fucking dog.
Brewdog.
Jesus Christ,
Oh,
what an idiot.
But yeah, we'll probably be like, yeah, it's right when it's us. But yeah, no, I'm just not really enjoying it. But the day, in general, mate, just a group of lads finding that weaker person from the group and just all day on the beers, you know. He took it pretty well.
Yeah, I was definitely the biggest victim of the four of us for the day. But I will take pride in it because I'm clearly the glue that holds that group together. I was that common denominator.
100%. It was always going to happen.
Yeah, but it was a good day nonetheless. Apart from the bullying,
It was a good day. It was great. Like, I really enjoyed the music, the atmosphere, the beers were flowing. It was quality. The next day, I was a bit hangy.
Yeah.
A bit tired. I didn't get much sleep as well, because you come back in and you're wired, it's late, and then you're up early the next day because there's kids jumping on you.
I could not sleep for hours after.
I know.
I think it was a good hour and a half.
I just want to really emphasise that it was my own child that was jumping on me. I don't just have like random kids.
Do you know what? You didn't need to clarify that, but now I think you're overcompensating for something here. We'll just go to Elevate on a Sunday morning and hope for the best.
Yeah. Might get lucky.
Oh mate, no, we don't even. We can't joke about that shit. We can't joke about this shit.
We'll move on.
But how good was Tom Grennan performing?
Tom Grennan, mate. Yeah, he can sing. But,
considering he come over from LA literally that afternoon.
Yeah. Especially for it. But my favourite, mate, Rudimental. When I saw them that they were there, I was like, holy shit. And then they just smashed it. Absolutely smashed it.
They were they were insane. And I think the sound was good, but their show just made it so much more.
Really, really good. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I think the biggest take home from that though was when we was talking about, we was having a laugh like, who do you reckon's the bitch, blah 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 blah. And then I think we got our answer when I was between...
Hang on. Before you say this, I just need to say on this podcast, this is probably the highlight of the 5 years we have been friends. This one moment, I think this is a top 3 moment in our friendship. It was that, the Subway burps. That's definitely up there. But I got my own back as well.
Yeah.
And I can't think of a third at the moment, but it's those two are definitely in the top 3 for sure. I'm sure there's another one that I'm forgetting.
Probably Kleb.
Kleb's up there, top 5, I think. Top 5, top 10.
So, by the way, your burps, I'd just be stood there, right, enjoying the show, having a little dance to music, and then every minute, 2 minutes, I'd just get a woof of your lunch. A woof? A woof. Even. A whiff.
I wasn't like barking at you, mate. I wasn't doing any boxing or anything.
No, I just boxing. Shout out Nate Dogg for his little woofs when we was boxing with him.
Oh,
that was funny.
That's a top 10 moment.
That was a good moment, yeah. We both just looked at each other like, what's going on? But I'll be honest, I do make some weird noises in the gym now. Like last night, I was trying to train a bit heavy, and I was making some weird noises. Anyway, let's go. Let's not talk about that. So we sat. So for a small period of the podcast, of the Crouchfest, we were sat down. And it was just after we sort of talking about like, who's the bitch, blah blah blah, and there was you, who is quite broad. Like I'm not, I get called broad, but you're definitely overshadow me in broadness. And then Joe, who we was with, was also broad.
Yeah.
like you, and I was sat in the middle of you two, and you both had your legs wide open. Both had your chest flared. Where's a picture in there? So I was there, legs closed. Looked up at you and went, so Ben, who do you think the bitch is?
Mate, but I don't know why you even asked it. I don't know what was going through your head to ask that question, but all I remember is the look of me going, just looking at you.
I think so. Maybe you wasn't a part because you was on one, you was on the other end. But I think Paul and Joe were talking about who was the bitch in their friendship. So
right, okay.
I think they must have said that. That's happened, and then I've gone.
just to add insult to injury to that, so the lovely General picked us up from the station.
Oh, forgot about this. Yeah. Fucking hell.
And what did you ask her? Just for clarification. A bit of an ego boost.
Yeah, for you.
Yeah, no, but you hoped it would be an ego boost for you.
No, I knew the answer, mate. You was fucking desperate for me to ask that question. Oh, Laura, Will's got a question for you.
Oh,
Like,
that's
and
so
also,
funny.
while we're fucking on being a fucking dork, you with your train knowledge. Honestly, right? So we're walking up to the train, and I'm like, oh, they don't really have. I haven't got the plug for my phone charger, so I'll just leave it. Like, I've only got the USB one. Are you on the way up there? Well, actually, there's 2 trains that now have been refurbished, and they've got USB ports underneath the seats, actually. I'm like, 2? He's like, yeah, they've just refurbed 2. I was like, how the fuck do you know that? He went, well, because actually I was lucky enough to sit on one the other day, and I had a USB port all to myself. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Look, it is shit knowledge. However, when you forget your plug, and you think, oh, so I've got a lead though, and it works out.
Yeah.
It can be helpful knowledge.
It was almost like you was just there, like sniffling. Oh yeah, well, actually, did you know this train goes at 60 kilometres an hour through Ashford? It's actually fascinating.
Well, I don't know the speeds or anything, mate. Let's not go too far. Let's not
Benjani
lie about it.
Francois, isn't it? Like, bloody hell, what's going on, mate?
It was so funny.
Yeah.
And before you even say it, why do I have an obsession with odd numbers?
I don't know why you've got an obsession with numbers. It's really odd.
Yeah.
You just pluck a number out. You just be like, yeah, no, I think, we'll get back about 11 minutes past 11, approximately. Well, that's not very approximate, mate. That is quite precise.
It's just like the times I'm like, I'm sure it's that one. I don't know, maybe it's that one. So
You just start in odd numbers.
It's
Yeah,
just
no, I
random
think it's about
knowledge.
33, 35, something like that.
God, I'm glad I got this drink. My throat was so sore from laughing so much.
I know. It's a bit early, isn't it? It's a bit
Way too early for this stuff.
Yeah. It's also we're bad that we're both drinking fizzy drinks at this time of the morning, but let's move.
Yeah, I'm glad that we've both done the same thing, though. It makes me feel a bit
Well, I
better about
saw you
myself.
had it, so I went and got one.
So,
Mate,
yes, Crouchfest
What's a
was good
weekend
fun,
of
though.
football? What's a weekend of footy, though, mate?
Oh, mate, it was a fun-filled weekend. There was...
Should we move on to football now? Right,
Yeah, we might as well.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's move on to the football.
Controversy of VAR. Shall we start there?
So, we can, yeah, let's just do that. So, there's a couple of games. So, let's not go through it game by game. Let's just talk about some of the highlights, right? So, I think the games were Arsenal, Newcastle, Sheffield Wolves, and that fucking box office game at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on Monday night. It was it was incredible, really. But do you think it's VAR's fault, or do you think it's the system and the people behind VAR don't know how to make VAR work?
That's a very good question. I think it's more heavily weighted towards the people don't know how to use it. But I think the way we use it generally, and when we go and why we go to VAR, I don't think is quite right either. I think the people that are actually doing VAR, they're not footballers or ex-footballers or whatever, so they don't actually necessarily understand fully how a footballer's body will work in that position. Jumping, when you jump for a ball, jump for a header or whatever it may be, or when you go for a tackle, like the angle you're going in and the speed you're going in and things like that, and like a little bit of a push in the back. If you're in the air, you're going to go down. You know, if you're off balance
Yeah.
slightly, it doesn't matter how much of a little push it could be. You could be an absolute unit of a person. This person could be skinny as a rake. But if you're off balance and they push you just that little bit hard enough, you're going down.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's the people not necessarily analysing it and evaluating what's going on well enough for me. I think VAR should be ex-footballers.
Well, I think there should be. I was just going to say that. I think there should be an ex-footballer or an ex-something like that, an ex-coach. You know,
It should be a ref,
I don't know
and
who it should be.
a ref and a player, a ref and an ex-player.
yeah, or two refs and a player, because
No, too
a
many
player
people
could.
then.
They could. Trouble is, if you, who do you get? Who do you get? You get an ex-player. Say you get Alan Shearer in. He could be looking at the table and being like, oh, this will like affect Newcastle. Actually, I'm going to say, so you need his input, but he shouldn't have the final decision. It should be the referee. But that being said, I don't want to say Alan Shearer is going to necessarily do that and like knock his integrity at all. I'm not saying that.
No,
I'm
it's just an
using that as
example. But the ref can do the
I
same
know
thing
he
because
listens.
refs still support. Yeah, probably. Of course he does. He listens to the rest of his football back. He's like, Joe, I was really good in that one. Let's listen to the football drop. He's like, let's see if Will's bashed me this week. But, you know, with the referee side of things, they still support players, support teams. They have to, you know, let them know before they actually become a ref, so they're not involved in those sorts of games. Players can do the same thing. Can't be involved with teams that they played for in the past and things like that. It's just an example. You can have a host of them, all as part of it. They're only doing one night a week of that, so you can have like the pundits that do all these sorts of things as well. They could be involved.
Yeah, makes sense.
I think you need a defender and an attacker if you're going to do that.
Yeah, it's not working. I think there are better ways to make it work. I think the thing for me though, with it all, is it's up for debate. So I've spoken to quite a few people. I've listened to a few different sort of podcasts. I've watched it myself. So looking at the Newcastle Arsenal game, that goal. Just looking at the goal for the time being, we can come on to the other instances within that game. It's definitely a push from. It was Joe Linton, wasn't it, on Gabriel, and Anthony Gordon stuck it away. I thought, for me, as a gooner, I thought 100% it was a foul.
Yeah, I thought it was a foul.
I've heard other people say it's a bit soft, shouldn't be, it wouldn't have been a foul, and I thought, okay, you know, thinking about the teams that they support, and then there's been a few that don't really give two shits either way, because Newcastle and Arsenal are quite in similar positions in the league, so it doesn't matter. So they're still saying it's not a foul. So it seems to me like that is up for debate, actually, whether that was a foul or not. So that, for me, then means, and it pains me to say it, it's not clear and obvious. So should VAR have chalked it off? Maybe not.
I mean, yeah, it is a point, but I think that sort of challenge over the pitch is two hands on the back. One's very high on the back and almost the back of the head. That's given on the pitch. If that's in midfield, that's a free kick, and that's a quick free kick and go. It's in the box. Now, the lead up to stuff like that, you know, we'll talk about in a sec, but I see that as that's a foul, and that should be chalked off, and that's, you know, a free kick to us kind of in the box kind of situation.
100%, mate. I completely agree. I think, personally, my thoughts are, it's a foul, it shouldn't have been a goal. The referee for that game, though, and this kind of brings up my previous point of whether VAR is utilised correctly, because I'm not sure the referee was good enough for that game. I mean, you look at the Havertz challenge.
Yeah, that's a very dark amber, isn't it?
It's probably a red. If that was Joe Linton going in on Havertz, we'd probably say he deserves a red card. We saw Bruno punch
elbow,
Jorginho in the
yeah.
head, and we're like, that's got to be a red. So again, they should have been probably 10 each, and the goal I thought was a foul. So for me, I think it was unfair. I think Arteta's statement afterwards, and then Arsenal sort of followed that up with their own statement supporting him, was very admirable of Arsenal, but I'm not sure it was the right thing to do. I think managers need to be honest with the way they're feeling. I think that's okay. And actually, we discussed that in our podcast that we did yesterday with Jerry, which is coming up on Friday, just to plug that. So I think the honesty is good, but I think the statement from Arsenal was maybe a little bit too far.
Gerard, I totally agree with you on the statement side of things. I think it's brilliant. What Arteta was saying, as an Arsenal fan, and this is the biasness coming out for a sec, I obviously totally agree with him, and it's great that he's speaking his mind and whatever, but as a neutral, you will get really pissed off with stuff like that. Especially as a month ago, we were saying, no, we need to let VAR do it, they're going to make mistakes, they're going to do this. You can't chop and change that. But, also, as you said, he's speaking his mind at the time. So, yes, you're going to have inconsistency. You know, we change our mind on a weekly basis about, well, minute basis sometimes, about things that we talk about on here, just as an example. So, as general football fans, surely you want managers to be, you know, upfront, honest. Big Ange does the same thing. If he's not happy about something, he's like, well, it is what it is, I can't do anything about it, but I don't agree. He doesn't go into it as much as Arteta did, and doing his squealing and screeching about it, saying it's a disgrace. It is from our perspective as Arsenal fans. He's speaking what the Arsenal fans will see and what we're thinking and feeling.
100%.
But the statement from the club.
But also, it was a couple of months ago. There was a VAR decision that went in Arsenal's favour. And Arteta was like, these people are humans. We've got to be patient with them.
Exactly. That's what I mean.
So it was, it's quite funny. But to stick with the VAR thing, let's go to the Wolves game with it was Neto, wasn't it, who was sent off in the 100th minute or whatever it was. And it was a carbon copy of it was Chan, wasn't it, who gave away a penalty the week before.
Yeah.
And you're like, how is that? Then it's not a penalty. That is not a penalty. And I can see why Gary Jones, as I like to call him, is fuming about it.
Why do you make up these people's names?
Because I get confused with who's who. Mate.
Rich Atkinson, I get it completely. That's funny.
Yeah. What did I call the old Leicester goalkeeper? I can't remember what it was. Anyway,
Richard Walker.
Yes, random.
Yeah. Danny Ward, Richard Walker.
Same. So, what do you think of that, the Neto one? And, by the way, Sheffield getting their first win. Congrats.
I didn't think we'd see that this season, to be honest.
No,
I didn't think I'd see it.
Me neither.
Yeah, I feel for Wolves. I really do feel for Wolves. They didn't deserve to lose that. It's just another stupid decision yet again, in my opinion. It's just I spoke to so many people about.
He's pulling out of the tackle, isn't he?
Yeah, he's made the attempt initially, but he's withdrawing from that. But I just don't understand what happens in that VAR room. I don't get it. What that thought process is. It's just totally different. Now, don't get me wrong, I appreciate they will know the rules generally, tons more than what we will do as, average fans, but there's got to be an interpretation to some degree. Mate, you can't even think of people's names properly, let alone the rules.
It's true.
So, yeah.
No, I think it wasn't a foul. He's pulling out of the challenge. He does touch him. That's probably where the argument will come from, but I think it's very harsh. I think Danny Murphy, was it Danny Murphy on Match of the Day? He thinks it should have been a diving.
Yeah, there's so much simulation now as well, and players getting away with it because they're getting better at this play acting stuff.
Yeah.
I appreciate they can anticipate the challenge and they can make it that way, and it's arguably it's kind of part of football to a degree.
Yeah.
But they're getting away with it so often, and with VAR they shouldn't be doing this. I don't know how they're getting away with it with VAR though. It just angers me. Just angers me so much. But I don't want to spend this whole episode talking about VAR. But there's still one more to talk about.
There's still I mean, with the Arsenal one, we didn't even talk whether the ball's in or out. I think it could have been in because we saw the game in the World Cup where we all thought it was out, and then when they showed, is it Hawkeye they had or whatever it was called, you saw the ball was actually in play. They couldn't draw the lines to see if it was offside. Fair enough. So it all went against us. We lost the game. We need to move. We need to collect ourselves now and move on. We've got a game tonight. The Tottenham Chelsea game. What a game, mate!
Oh, I'm so annoyed. I didn't watch it, but I was
I caught it, mate.
Yeah,
I watched it afterwards.
Bombarded with voice notes from fan favourite Andy Campbell. She's like, mate, it should be 10 men. They should be down to 9. This is bullshit. Blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh my God, Nicholas Jackson, he's the worst striker we've ever had in life. And at the end of it, Nicholas Jackson hat-trick! I lived the game's emotions literally through his voice clips.
Really? Yeah. It was a funny one. I mean, Udogie should have gone for a 2-footed tackle. Didn't, but did go eventually. Who was it? Romero got a red card as well. Definitely a red card. Probably could have gone sooner.
Romero is always there, ready for a red card. Every game he plays.
We was at football and JP said, "Oh, Tottenham are down to 10," and someone went, "Who's got sent off?" And he went, "Have a guess," and they went, "Romero." So it's like, everyone knows. But I went and caught up with the game after footy, and honestly, it was unbelievable. I mean, Chelsea were not good against 10 men. Against 9, it was literally put the ball over the top. Sterling will run onto it, pass it into Nicholas Jackson, who'll have an open goal and he'll score. Basically, that was 2 of the goals, and then Jackson for the third was for his third. Round the keeper in the back of the net. So it was such a good game. There was so many VAR incidents. Incidents. Thank you. That happened. Honestly, it was arguably one of the best games of football of the Premier League era.
Yeah, typically I didn't watch it. I sat there with Laura watching Friends for the 57th time of our relationship.
Wowzers.
Yeah.
Wowzers trousers.
Yeah. A few other good games though, wasn't there, over the weekend?
There was, mate. Yeah. Should we go back to the Man United game? Which
how lucky were they, man?
So lucky. So lucky. They're fortunate that Fulham sold their top striker and can't now score.
Yeah.
And they also couldn't defend in the last 9 minutes, where it ping-ponged around and Fernandes managed to hoof it into the back of the net.
Yeah, it was gutting. It was gutting to see them win. Because obviously Ten Hag's under significant pressure. They're not playing good football. And they didn't.
I think he's still under pressure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, this isn't relieved much.
You look at Rashford, the way if you look at the comparison between the way he handled the Sancho incident and the way that he has handled the Rashford incident, it's just ridiculous. Rashford, after a drubbing by their closest rivals, has gone out on the beers. It was his birthday. I mean, arguably, you wouldn't cancel your plans like that, regardless of whether you've been thumped. Alan Shearer disagreed on the rest of football. If you listen to that, but
are you like working as a rep for the rest of football or something today?
Mate, honestly, I am. This season, so I listen to a few podcasts. So, like Parenting Hell, Josh Widdicombe says he's completely fallen out of love with football. I've gone the opposite way, mate. I am just want to do something football related all of the time.
Yeah.
I just love listening, talking about just everything football for me is fantastic. So yeah, I'm well into my football.
Yeah, I agree. I totally want to do the same. But you are training to be a coach soon, I hear.
Well, I don't know. I'm in talks to become
sign the deal.
a coach. They, I won't tell you which club, but just watch out, Poch.
Ooh.
I'm wearing blue today.
Wow.
I'm joking, of course. So Man United, crap. So
Shocking.
Brentford, West Ham.
What an entertaining game.
Neil Maupay scored. Arguably, it was. I don't know if he meant it, but
Goal's
he
a
got
goal.
a goal.
He got credited with a goal.
Was it last year? Like April last year was the last time he scored a goal.
Yeah. Was it 42 games? 40 something
44.
games it was. 44 was it?
But it was 43, 45, between that sort of number. He honestly, but you think, right, he hasn't scored for well over a year, 18 months. He's played for Brighton, Everton, and now Brentford as a striker.
Yeah.
How does someone manage to... I could probably go 44 games without scoring, but none of them are signing me.
No. But what's even more confusing is Brentford signed players on lots of stats and data. What stats have they looked at to say, Neil Maupay? Absolutely.
Well,
let's get him in.
He was doing all right at Brentford before that, wasn't he?
Well, no, he's at Brentford now, mate.
Wasn't he at Brentford before he went to Brighton? Isn't this his return to Brentford?
Oh, was he? Oh, I didn't know that.
Pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. So he went to Brighton from Brentford, and now he's gone back.
Oh, okay.
Because he was saying, I'm so glad to be back at Brentford. I love the fans here. It's great. And he was basically saying, Everton, you dog shit.
Wow. I mean, we don't like to be too biased on here, but yeah, Everton are really shit. I don't want to upset any Everton fans, but we've slagged them off quite a lot.
I feel like you're going the right way about upsetting Everton fans.
They got a good draw at the weekend.
Stay away from Liverpool. They did get a good draw at the weekend against Brighton.
Against Brighton.
The Neil Maupay derby, as it's called.
I didn't really see much of the highlights of these games, to be fair, but it seems like just a 1-1 draw. Brighton are sort of dropping a little bit. I saw that De Zerbi came out and was like, yeah, well, you lose 3 players in your team for injury, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, mate, like, Chelsea have lost 10 players.
Well, yeah, I think Sheffield United are the worst, aren't they, at the minute?
Yeah,
they can't seem to keep their players fit. They just got, I've forgotten who it was. I've forgotten his name. But they just got the youngster back, and he went off injured again at the weekend. Let me just find his name, because that's really going to bug me.
But yeah, I think it's just excuses. You know, Deserve's just making excuses of trying to deflect the attention from the losses, which I get it, that's what good managers should be doing. But it's just a bit of a cop-out. You can't blame 3 injuries.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. No, you're right.
Man City,
yes.
Bournemouth.
Mate, how weird that Man City scored 6 goals and Haaland didn't get one.
Mate, as soon as we saw that City was smashing them, I was like, yes, dream team Haaland, he's back as captain this weekend. No, didn't score a single goal, came off at half-time.
Didn't. I know, but he bagged a brace last night when it don't count.
He did, yeah, he did. So I'm hoping he'll be back for the weekend game, so that'll be right.
Yeah, but mate, Doku.
How insane is that guy right now?
When he joined, I thought he would just be like a bit of a squad player. Mate, he got 4 assists and a goal.
I know, it's ridiculous.
It's insane.
And Joe, what's weird? He still didn't get a 10 out of 10 rating. He got a
No, did he
9.7.
not?
How can you not get a 10
Oh,
for
did
that?
he?
Yeah.
Blimey. Yeah, how do you not get a 10 for that? You're right.
Yeah, what do you need to do to get a 10 is just ridiculous.
Yeah,
but obviously
but
he's
I
the new
think-
kid on the block. Nobody knows what he's like. Nobody knows what skills he's got, what trickery he's got. You can watch, all the highlights you want. But if he seems to, his legs do one thing, and his head almost does a dummy at the same time. So you literally have no idea what he's going to do. I don't think even he knows what he's going to do sometimes. I think he just goes, he's like, oh yeah, better go. But he's just so quick off the mark, he can do these things.
Yeah. Yeah, he is, yeah. He's an unreal talent, and fair play to Manchester City for picking him up. Quite cheap as well, arguably. I think Iraola is... I think that was expected. If you think back to when Scotty Parker was sacked, Iraola can't be too far away. They must be really, really disappointed with their decision to part ways with Jones, as we call him on this podcast.
Yeah, I think so. But I think this week was a free hit anyway. They got the win last week. That's a bit of pressure sort of relieved on him to a certain degree. That was a game that they would have expected to win. There's no way they would have expected to win, especially at City as well. That would have just been a case of here we go kind of thing,
I appreciate it was the previous owners at Bournemouth that did it to Scotty Parker, but Parker, I mean, we loved everything about his fashion, not much about his football, but he was playing lots of the top half teams, lost, just coming into a run, and he got the boot before that. Then O'Neill had a really good run, kept them up, got them into a good position, got the boot. Iraola's come in. What's going on?
Yeah, I think what was it they said in the summer when they announced him as manager? Something like we wanted someone who's a bit more high profile to be able to sort of kick us on. But nobody in this country had heard of him. Right across Europe, yeah, granted, he would obviously be more well known than what O'Neill would have been, of course. But yeah, it's just a case of like, oh, okay, and he's done nothing. I don't think they're playing better football.
I think they're on their way to playing better football, but no, they're not playing better football. He did well. He was at Bilbao, wasn't he? He's kind of trained with Arteta and the likes of those people from that sort of area in Bilbao. But yeah, it just I don't understand it. I can kind of see their logic of pushing on, but I'm not sure Iraola was that person. But let's see what happens. But so far, no good. Similar to Burnley, 2-0 away loss. Yeah, sorry, they were at home. Away, Palace were away.
Oh my god, go get another coffee, mate. Go get another coffee. It'll perk you up a little bit. 2-0, straightforward enough. Palace win. Arguably one of the bigger shocks is, well, we've got two shocks here, but Forest beat Villa 2-0.
Forest beat Villa 2-0, yeah. Forest look very good on certain days. They seem to be playing quite well, especially at home. It's a bit of a fortress at home. Biggest pitch in the Premier League, but you didn't know that.
I didn't know that, no.
Yeah, it's they're playing well. Mangala is playing well. Awani is back playing, and he's picked up where he left off. I know he didn't score, but he was quite good in the game.
No,
very good, Villa. Yeah, Villa, mate.
Mate, Martinez's own goal.
Yeah. Was it Martinez's own goal?
Well, I don't think he went down because it was on target, but he sort of palmed it with his top hand and then just spun. Massively high in the air, spun and just went back in the goal.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't think he needed to do that much of a spectacular save.
You've got a beef against spectacular saves, haven't you? Because who was it that did one? Was it the Man United game?
Yeah.
Yeah, he palmed the ball away and did like a little front, put his legs up, and you're like, oh, he doesn't need to do that.
Yeah, I just don't understand it. Why? Why do you need to do that?
Is it because you can't do it?
Probably a little bit. But it's also, I listened to the Seaman Says podcast, Obviously, David Seaman's
Okay.
obviously an old school goalie. He hates all that sort of stuff as well. And he's with Sam. He was interviewing Sam Johnston this week, and he said it on the podcast at the weekend. He's like, "Why do you have to keep going for these like stupid, spectacular saves?" He's like, "Everyone said, oh yeah, goalie, yeah, he's great with his feet." He's like, "Yeah, but how fucking good is he with his hands though? That's what he needs to be good at. Hands first, feet second. When you're a goalie, it's like if you're in trouble, you just hoof it up the pitch. That gets your team out of trouble, and then you regroup and go from there."
That's not the modern game, though, is it? The modern game is all about playing out from the back.
It is, yeah.
Absorbing that pressure and playing out from the back. That's the way.
It is, but to a certain extent, you still need to be very good with your hands.
Yeah.
It's that defensive side of things. But yeah, big loss for Villa, that. I think that
Big
potentially
loss.
could take the wind out their sails a little bit, because they've been in fucking sensational form, haven't they?
Yeah, although they got thrashed by Newcastle and then went on quite a good winning streak. So,
Yeah,
You never know.
maybe they could continue. Could be a bit of a blip,
They're
who
not-
knows?
they're not great away from home. Forest are good at home, so, in theory, we should have really predicted that, but we didn't. One we couldn't have predicted, or would never have predicted, was the Luton Town 1, Liverpool 1.
I know, that's a big point for Luton, isn't it? I think they arguably deserve to win it. Liverpool scored the 93rd minute, 94th minute, Luis Diaz?
It was actually the 95th.
95th, was
Yeah.
it? Oh.
Yeah.
Should have guessed that, 93rd or 95th. What I normally
To be honest, I thought you would have done. I'm a bit disappointed you didn't. It was written in the stars for him to score, and I hope that situation for him and his dad being kidnapped gets resolved.
Apparently it's all progressing positively.
I think it's favourable, isn't it? Which is great news for him. But fair play for him to come on and play. I think it's probably what he needed to just take his mind off of it for a minute. But done well. But yeah, Luton. I mean, you say, I understand what you're saying about Luton. Probably could have won. The amount of chances that Darwin Núñez missed. Jeez.
Yeah.
Honestly, that one where Salah probably misheaded it, and it was just there for the taking for Núñez, and he skied it.
I know. Do you see Salah's response after? He was like rolled on the floor. It's like, what the fuck is going on with you?
Well, I think he was pissed off because his header didn't go on target because he wanted to score himself.
Yeah.
But then he fucked it up. But he was like, oh, it's gone straight to Núñez. Open goal. What?
But then you see Núñez in midweek in the League Cup against Bournemouth. His first touch was poor. It nearly went out of play. He ran, got it, recovered the ball, did 2 or 3 touches with it, and then curled it in the corner with his right foot. Like, how can you do that but be so poor to begin with? He's just so hot and cold. But when he gets consistency, he will be incredible. But he just needs to get that
I've no
consistency.
doubt about it. You talk to a lot of people who say he is the real deal. He is the real deal. So you've got to take it from them, haven't you? They know what they're talking about.
You've got to, mate. And that's the roundup, mate. That is the Premier League weekend.
That is the Premier League weekend. Do we want to go back and do a little bit of world football? Because we've had some games in Saudi.
Yeah, let's go. So where do you want to kick it off? Saudi.
Kick off. Well, actually, can I just have one shout out to Girona,
Yes.
who stood top of the La Liga. Or they stand top of the Liga, because I think Real Madrid actually drew over the weekend, didn't they? Incredible feat from a team who haven't spent a lot, who haven't done a lot. I mean, they spent a bit, but not a lot. They lost a couple of players in the summer as well. Absolutely smashing it, and well deserved. It just goes to show what a team spirit can do. From a club who is sort of second, maybe arguably third at times in the Catalonian area. So fair play, mate. They're doing really well. I'm buzzing for them. I'm hoping they continue it, and I would say would probably be, if they can continue it, would be more of a shock than Leicester City when they won it. And I just want to sort of bring up what you said, is that if they do win La Liga, you will present the FDP in your underwear in a similar way that Gary Lineker did on Match of the Day. So thanks for that, Ben.
I've never said that. And that's not happening. Never happened.
So let's move on to the Saudi League. Sorry, I didn't hear what you said then. So just a couple of we'll go back to kind of the last couple of weeks. So let's start with Al Ittihad and Al Hazim 2-2 draw there, mate. I bet you're surprised about that one, aren't you?
I'm shocked by that.
Al Hilal beat Al Ali Saudi 3-1. Al Nasser 3-1 winners away at Al Fiha. Al Ettifaq and Al Weda was a 3-2 win for Al Ettifaq. And then sort of last weekend just gone, because they play again tomorrow. So we had Al Hilal beat Al Fatah 2-0 away from home. Al Shabab beat Al Ittihad, shocking result there, 1-0 home win there for Al Shabab. And then Al Nasir beat Al Khalij 2-0. Al Ali Saudi beat Al Riyadh 3-0. So all of those results leaves Al Hilal top of the table without losing a game. Al Nasir in second place. Al Ittihad and Al Ettifaq, or one of the big spenders over the course of the summer, sitting in 6 and 7 on exactly the same points. Lost 3, drawn 3, won 6. So that's quite a surprise, actually, isn't it?
Considering the amount they've spent, yeah. You expect them to be fighting at the top there.
Yeah. Okay, so the MLS season's finished now, isn't it? We're into the playoffs.
Yes.
So we have got. So I can't remember where I got to last time. So have I done anything on this?
No, not for 2 weeks.
No, it hasn't. Did I even do it 2 weeks ago? I was trying to think now.
Pretty sure.
So,
but tell us anyway. Tell us some news, mate.
So Cincinnati, Orlando City, Columbus, Philadelphia, New England, Atlanta and Nashville went through from the Eastern Conference. That's when we're into Miami, finished 14th out of 15, which was a bit of a shock. In the Western Conference, St. Louis, Seattle Sounders, LAFC, Houston Dynamo, Real Salt Lake, Vancouver, Dallas all went through, and then you had the qualifiers of Sporting KC, San Jose, New York Red Bulls, and Charlotte. So where we find ourselves now is Orlando City have beaten Nashville 1-0 away from home. Atlanta United beat Columbus 4-2. It's really hard to say those, like real Salt Lake City and Atlanta United without saying Atalanta and Real.
Yeah, it's really difficult, isn't it?
Real Salt Lake City beat Houston Dynamo 5-4 on penalties yesterday. LAFC have beaten Vancouver. Sporting KC have beaten St. Louis. FC St. Louis. FC Dallas have beaten Seattle Sounders 3-1. And Cincinnati beat New York Red Bulls on penalties 8-7. So all still to play for. Yeah, it's an interesting league, that one, isn't it? I don't really understand kind of why they do it like that. Is it because the travel is too far?
Yeah. That's what they do with the NBA and the NFL and everything, yeah.
Is that what they do?
Yeah, so you have the Eastern and Western conferences for everything, and then you do the playoffs from there.
Okay. Right, okay. I guess that makes sense.
Cool, good silence. Yeah, good silence. Excellent.
So, sorry, yeah, I was just thinking. Okay, so, shall we go to the WSL?
Yes, what's been happening? Let's finish on a high, hopefully, shall we?
Oh, okay. Why is that? Why would that be a high?
Because I know a result from a certain team in North London over the weekend.
Do you?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Oh, okay. What do you know, mate?
I know that Arsenal beat Man City 2-1, which was brilliant. That's a massive win for Arsenal ladies.
Huge win for the Arsenal ladies.
And also big news that Emma Hayes is leaving Chelsea at the end of the season.
Oh, wow, okay. Right.
After 11 years.
Where's she going?
Apparently to go and manage the women's national team in America.
Oh, right, yeah, I did see that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Little bit of knowledge for you.
Well done, mate. Well done, well done, well done. So I think they had an international break, didn't they? So I'm actually just from the weekend gone to update on. So Chelsea thrashed Villa 6-0. Villa are not firing on all cylinders at all, are they? As you say, Arsenal beat City 2-1. Liverpool beat Leicester 2-1. Tottenham and Everton had a 1-1 draw. West Ham lost to Bristol City at home 3-2. And Brighton and Manchester United 2-2. So, the league table is an interesting one, mate. My signal has completely just gone, so don't really know what it is yet. Here we go. Chelsea up top. I didn't know that. City in second. Tottenham in third. Aston Villa in bottom place. They've not won a game, which is quite surprising because they've got some decent players.
They have. They've invested a little bit in their squad, didn't they?
Yeah, they have. Yeah,
from like the club generally as well. So that's a bit of a shock, but they'll pick up some points, I'm sure. It just takes a little while.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. Arsenal are in fifth place for those gooners who are wondering. Yeah.
Excellent.
That's us, mate.
Wicked. Well, thanks for doing that in the morning. Obviously, we've got a.
Mate.
Go on.
I thought of something earlier, and I thought we need to talk about it.
Go on.
Because I don't think we have spoken about the Ballon d'Or yet, have we?
Did we not? No, because it was the Monday night, wasn't it? What's your thoughts?
I think it's very, very harsh on Haaland.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. This is going to be a Pavel Nedved, Thierry Henry situation in years to come.
I don't think it is because I don't want to take anything away from TT really, but I think if Pavel Nedved won the World Cup, you could you'd understand it a little bit more. Messi did win the World Cup. It was all about Lionel Messi. It's always all about Lionel Messi. So I can kind of see that, but I just don't.
But
it feels unfair on Haaland still.
Julian Alvarez scored a load of goals in the World Cup and won the World Cup. He also scored a fair few goals in the league, in the Champions League, in the League Cup, in the FA Cup, and he won the treble with Man City. So on that premise, Julian Alvarez should have won Ballon d'Or. Because he won the World Cup. He was a main man in that team.
I see where you're going. It's not quite as simple as that, is it?
No,
but,
of course it's not. Yeah, if it was, we'd be running the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah.
We'd do it all.
I don't know that we would, but
yeah, mate, if it's something simple, we'd be able to do that.
I don't know, mate. I can't say Real Salt Lake City
or Atlanta United.
Oh, you just said, or Atlanta.
I said Atlanta, and I made sure I said it like that just to be an idiot.
Yeah. So we are stupid, but yeah, well done, Leo. Unlucky Erling.
It is mad to say though, Messi's won 8 Ballon d'Ors. 8. No one's ever going to do that again.
Oh, I don't know.
No,
I don't know.
No.
So
nobody's ever going to do that.
So for the next 10 years, who is going to challenge Haaland for the Ballon d'Or?
Mbappe, Bellingham, if he keeps up this trajectory. Julian Alvarez could potentially do that. You know, if Alvarez moved to a different club and was the main man starting if he delivers what he's done so far throughout his career, he could do the same. There's always going to be someone else that can have an absolutely blinding year. Look at Benzema. He had an insane year. Won it. Lewandowski finished. He got Ballon d'Or in the end after smashing in 4,000 goals for Bayern.
Yeah.
Harry Kane could even potentially be up there next season with the goals he's scoring for Bayern. And if he leads England, to an international tournament victory, he's the captain. He could then arguably be doing that.
I can certainly see your logic with Bellingham and Kane. Alvarez, I'm not too sure about. Mbappe possibly, but you've got all of those players in and amongst Erling Haaland, who
absolutely.
So Haaland and Bellingham, you can kind of see it being, but like them, I know it's slightly different, but like Ronaldo and Messi.
It could be. Erling Haaland, I think is arguably a different calibre altogether because of the pure goals that he scores. But as an all-round footballer, I don't think he's got it all. But there's other players that can come in and have a Pavel Nedved kind of season, and people go, "Wow, it's amazing," because he's done it in big games and crucial games, whatever it may be, and get that attraction. Like Bellingham's done well for a few seasons. His trajectory's pretty much a straight line, essentially. But there's always someone that can do that. There's always a youngster coming through that could do these sorts of things.
Mm. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, well, thanks for that, mate.
That's okay. Well, thank you for...
It's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure. We will put this out probably in the next hour or so, once I've edited.
Well done.
And we'll get it on YouTube later today, hopefully. And we've got obviously a special one that will be released on Friday morning as well for you guys. You get a double hit of FDP.
Don't miss that. Honestly, it's a cracking one.
It is brilliant. Such good insight. So we managed to bag a director of football to come on the show and tell us exactly what a director of football does, really. So for the average fans, you don't really necessarily know the ins and outs and what they do. So we managed to get Jerry on and tell us all about it. So yeah, listen out on Friday. But for now, thank you very much. Bye bye.
Take care.